Hey makeup friends, if you are a sucker for beautiful packaging and intricate design styles, then this might very well be the video for you. Let's get into this. As always, I want to start off by welcoming you back to the channel, or if you're new here, then hello and welcome. My name is Kara, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the items from the brand called Florasis. I have seen them quite a bit on Instagram, although I'd never tried any of their products before in the past. But when they reached out to me and offered me a sponsorship for today's video, it was a very quick yes on my part. I've always been intrigued by just how beautiful their items look, and I really did want to put them to the test and see if the product itself holds up to the beauty that's promised by the packaging. In today's video, we're going to take an up-close look at all of these items, and I do mean that quite literally because the design elements on these are just second to none. I've never seen any other brand do it quite the same way that Florasis has done, particularly with their eyeshadow palette and their lipsticks. We're going to take a look at the up-close images. I've also filmed the application of the items, and I'm going to give you a bit of an update at the end of the video in terms of how the products held up throughout the day. So without further delay, let's get straight into looking at these products. Up first is the Hydrating Fluid Foundation, which I have in the shade N20 Jade. It's described as being yellow ivory with warm undertones for light skin. This foundation is particularly good for those with dry skin. It has a specially developed formula which provides transparent yet moisturizing natural makeup, giving you a medium coverage. I did find that the coverage was a little bit lighter than medium when I blended it out, but it could very easily be built up. Next up, we're taking a look at the Flawless Jade Breathable Setting Powder. This one is the loose version, and then momentarily we will see the pressed version. The pressed version is particularly good for touch-ups on the fly. Both of these powders are non-comedogenic and talc-free, and they both offer 24-hour cake-resistant and crease-resistant finishes that are both sweat and waterproof. And as you can see here, using the powder puff also produces a soft matte appearance on the skin. I will say that these powders are incredibly finely milled. They have a zircon milling technique which makes them light as air, and they do feel very soft on the skin. They don't leave a cast on your skin, and I do completely agree that they don't cake up in the fine lines, nor do they look like they're dry once applied. In addition to all these features, this powder is also friendly to acne-prone and sensitive skin types. Next, we have the Eyebrow Define Powder Pencil. I have it in the shade brown, and it's also available in taupe and in gray. This eyebrow pencil provides a velvety and silky finish, and it's crafted with 75% powder. It offers the hair-like strokes of a pencil with the smooth and natural color of a powder. It's oil-free, glides on without stickiness, and it doesn't cake even after multiple applications. It also comes with a complimentary refill in the color that you choose. This incredibly beautiful palette is the Eastern Beasts Sculpting Makeup Palette, and it can be used either as a cheek palette or as eyeshadow, which is what I've used it for in this video. The engraved patterns on these powders is stunning. It's almost a shame to use them because they're just so beautiful and intricate. These shadows are incredibly soft and incredibly easy to blend. If you want more impact out of the color, you can always apply them wet, just using a little bit of setting spray. but these are also excellent for beginners because they don't have extreme color payoff right out of the pan. I thoroughly enjoyed using this palette. This is the Pine Soot Precise Define eyeliner, which I have in brown, and it's also available in black. In looking at the Florasis website, it says that the design inspiration is from people in ancient China who believed that a good writing brush should have 4 virtues: a fine tip, round stroke, neat bristles, and flexible comfort. And during product development, Florasis has made these virtues the standard for this eyeliner. Oddly enough, I wasn't able to find this product on the Florasis website. This is the cleansing oil, and I'm kind of mystified as to why not, but what I can say is that this oil is very effective. It breaks through the makeup really nicely, and the product just looks beautiful, frankly. The little flower element, everything, again, it just comes down to the beauty of the packaging. So now we're going to take a look at the 2 eyeshadow palettes from the You're the Pearl of My Eye collection. On the top left, we have Bride in Sunrise, and on the bottom right is Mermaid in Moonlight. This collection was created in collaboration with Susan Fang, who is a master of hand knitting. For this collection, she drew inspiration from pearls, a symbol of precious and perfect love, and a key material in the Chinese makeup tradition. I have to talk quickly to catch up with the swatches, but the top shade is Prelude, a peachy beige satin finish, then followed by Sunrise, which is a matte coral pink, Shine, a dazzling white shimmer, and finally Hope, a sparkly copper brown. Now we move on to Mermaid in Moonlight. And the shades from left to right, or top to bottom once I swatch them, we have Lullaby, which is a matte light pink, followed by Moonlight, a dazzling violet shimmer. The shade is beautiful. And then we have Mist, a cool pink matte. And eventually I will bring this one into frame, but this is the shade Illusion, which is a matte violet shade. And as you can see, these fairly light shades do build up nicely and easily. Between now and the end of August, with the purchase of one of these Eastern Romance eyeshadow palettes or one of the Blooming Rouge Love Lock lipsticks, the brand is gifting an eyeshadow pencil. Finally, we have the Blooming Rouge Love Lock lipsticks. These are formulated with extracts from cotton rose, summer snowflake flower, and Madonna lily to help nourish your lips and reduce the appearance of lip wrinkles. These lipsticks are truly works of art. The engraving on the bullet is just next level. I've never seen anything like it. But as well, these are incredibly comfortable lipsticks to wear. They are smooth and creamy on the lips, not drying. There are 2 shades available in the Love Lock Pearl Edition lipsticks. This shade here is number 521. It's described as a mid-tone rose pink. And the next shade that I will be swatching is number 520, which is described as a warm, bright red. I would argue that there's a bit of an orange undertone running through there, or at least it shows up orange on my skin tone. Either way, they're both beautiful. Florasis also has gift sets available, which include these beautiful pearl face stickers, as well as a necklace. Both, again, are designed in collaboration with Susan Fang and draw inspiration from her iconic use of pearls and beads. All right, it has now been 9 hours since I applied my makeup this morning, so I did want to give you a quick rundown of how I'm feeling things are holding up. So first of all, the foundation. Now it is a little bit harder to detect the amount of wear on the foundation because it is a more sheer coverage item. But having said that, I can say there is no caking up of the foundation on my face. There's no splitting apart of it across my forehead, which is something that I typically see with a lot of foundations. Nothing looks dry, nothing looks patchy. Everything is just wearing very evenly. It still looks like a fresh application. There's no heaviness on my skin, nothing sticky. I feel like my skin can breathe, and I'm just overall not aware that I'm even wearing foundation, which in my books is an excellent sign. I don't like a lot of heaviness on my skin. I don't think many people do, but 9 hours later, it still feels fantastic. Moving on to the eyes, I think the eyeshadow has held up really nicely as well. You can still see that there is still quite a bit of shine across the lids. Nothing has bunched up into the creases and folds of my eyes, and you can still see those distinct colors. Now, this eyeshadow palette is not full impact in the way that a lot of indie brands are, but given where it's coming from, I wouldn't expect it to be full impact. That's just not really the makeup aesthetic that we see coming from Asian countries. So for what it is, I think it actually works very well. I didn't have any frustration with applying the eyeshadow. It did blend really nicely, and like I've said, it's held up really well throughout the day. So if you are in the market for a more subtle approach to eyeshadow, this is something that I think will fit the bill really nicely. The eyeliner is particularly impressive to me though. First of all, not only in applying it did it apply really smoothly and really easily, it didn't get sticky on top of itself, it didn't bleed or feather, and it had a very nice precise point, but more so it's held up really well. I tend to see a lot of fading in this area here because of the way that my anatomy of my eyes is, but I'm not seeing that here. There's still this nice sharp edge, nothing has smudged away. Again, nothing has feathered or bled throughout the day, and it's just holding up so well. I'm very, very impressed with the eyeliner. It is most definitely one that I'm going to be reaching for over and over again. And then with respect to the lipstick, I did touch it up before I sat down to film, but I will say in the course of the last 9 hours, I've only touched it up 2 times. So it did survive sipping on coffee and water throughout the day. It survived a lot of talking. I had a few in-person meetings at the office today, do a lot of talking, and I didn't have any issues with that. It didn't end up getting gummed up in the corner of my mouth. It didn't pill up or become uncomfortable on my lips. So even though it does have a matte finish, it is a very comfortable wearing lipstick, and it is very long wearing. When it did start to fade, I found that it faded very evenly, so I wasn't left with just like a ring of color around the outside of my lips and then nothing in the middle. It all just sort of faded away. I also really like the finish of it. It's one of those sort of blurred mattes, so it's not, again, not full intensity in terms of the pigmentation, but that's not to say that it's disappointing in its pigmentation. It applies very evenly, but it gives that really soft, blurred matte effect, which I think is really pretty. This color in particular, number M520, it is gorgeous. When I first applied it this morning, I thought it might be a little too deep, a little too strong for this time of year, but I think it just complements the overall makeup look perfectly. So I really don't have any complaints about the makeup that I've tried out. The powder as well, it's a little bit harder to judge how a powder is held up, but the fact that the foundation is lasting so well, I have to give some of that credit to the powder. What I do particularly enjoy about the powder is that it's incredibly finely milled, incredibly lightweight, and it's not leaving a cast on my skin. It's not making anything look cakey. And again, when I touch my skin, it just feels like skin. I'm not feeling the foundation, but nor am I feeling this like film of powder on top of it. So overall, I think we've got some winners here. So in looking at all the products that I have tested out, if I had to pick 2 absolute standouts, if only because I can't pick one, I'm going to give the win to the lipstick as well as the eyeliner. I think I've made my thoughts on the eyeliner very clear. The lipstick, honestly, The packaging is a little fussy for my own personal liking. I get where they're coming from. I appreciate just how much attention to detail is put into it, but like this little chain element doesn't really do anything for me personally. What I really like in the packaging is just how securely housed the lipstick itself is. It won't come out until you press it. And again, it's just that wearability of the lipstick. I really do like bullet lipsticks, but sometimes I hesitate to wear them to the office, especially when I know I'm going to have a lot of in-person meetings, simply because bullet lipsticks, you run the risk of them bleeding or smudging around on your mouth. I didn't experience any of that with this lipstick, and for that, I am very grateful. Now, if I had to pick a least favorite, it would go for this palette here. This one is the Flowery Gaze Eyeshadow Palette. And the only reason that I'm saying it's my least favorite is simply to do with the color selection that's in there. I don't gravitate towards pastel colors. I just don't find them to be flattering on me at all. So this is one that I'm not going to get a lot of use out of. However, my daughter is much more fairly complected than I am, and I think that this is going to be right up her alley. So it is still going to get love in this house, just not from me. And with all of that said, I'm going to wrap the video up here, but I do want to take a moment to thank Florasis again for sponsoring today's video and sending these items to me to test out. I really do appreciate that opportunity to try new products and to share my thoughts on them with you, so thank you once again, Florasis. So I would love to hear from you in the comments what your thoughts are on the brand. Are there products here that you've tried before? Anything catching your eye? Let me know down below. But with that, I'm going to say goodbye here. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, I ask that you consider doing so. But for now, I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.